Hello, everyone, and welcome to the November 22nd, 2021 Contributor Celebration meeting. I'm your host today, Bob Killen, one of the co-chairs of SIG Contributor Experience, and sort of serving as the organizer for this event. As a general reminder to folks, these meetings are recorded and will be posted to the internet later, and we abide by the CNCF Code of Conduct, which essentially boils down to please be excellent to each other. Before we get on to things, are there any new contributors on the call that want to potentially introduce themselves? Okay, then we'll go right into Reg. So the announcement went out last Thursday, and we have 70 people registered so far, which is actually pretty solid. 41 are Kubernetes org members. Last year we had around 300 attendees total. So us being at 70 already after the first announcement is pretty solid. The big thing for us is we'll just need to sort of continue the comms going out like once a week up until the event with our little like incremental updates. Oh, thank you, Ray. And I'm just gonna put you down as note taker. With that, does anyone have any questions regarding Reg so far?
Okay. Yeah, so I wanted to say I put a checklist on the registration for the activities that we had already talked about. So probably next week, it would be good for the people who are planning those individual activities to actually pull a list of people who said they were interested for the ones that require pre-planning. Okay. So like for the bake-off, I'm going to want a list of people who said they were interested in it as potential contestants.
Okay.
I don't know which other things required pre-planning.
The only thing is people putting in games that like they potentially want to play, and you know, us potentially like stubbing out an additional channel for them if there's a lot of people interested in them. But one item from the retro last year is like we stubbed out too many of them and people were kind of overwhelmed. So unless there's like a huge number of people interested in, you know, something like Among Us, we'll try and keep the channels to a minimum. The other thing is like we now also have, there's a Discord plugin that will just allow people to dynamically create rooms. So we'll be able to do that without the help of an admin. And I lost the tab with the notes, 1 sec. Okay. That takes us to, well, actually, does anyone else have any other further things for Reg? Okay. Awards.
All right, so I can give an update. Like I mentioned on the agenda, Cody, Mars, and Pointiswar and myself, we've contacted the 25 SIGs. Only 5 have replied with nominees so far. We've been pinging them once a week as well. We've been pinging the SIG chairs. What I'm gonna do today is gonna ping the Slack channel for chairs and tech leads just to remind them, hey, one of these 4 people have contacted you about awards, please get back to them when you can. And I'm tempted to send an email to the leads group as well, just to say, you know, we've contacted you a few times, or I won't say that, but well, yeah. So please, you know, send in your awards to one of these 4 people on Slack.
I would just say go ahead and do it to get, yeah, you know, because I think that was done last year too.
Okay, yeah, I'll do it today.
Okay. Ryan, you want to introduce Sarah's suggested designs for the awards?
Yes, we can. Bob, if you, while you're sharing the screen, if you want to pop them up, we can quickly introduce Sarah's on our team, and she created a few designs for us. She stuck with the black and white. from last year, and to kind of sit nicely with next to the previous year's awards.
It's like I need to download the PDF and open.
Yeah, basically, so you know what we got there. I threw this out to a bunch of our visual artists within the Kubernetes community, and Sarah had ideas for what to do.
Okay.
So she basically just took the wording from the sample that was shared and just redid that. So let me find the words.
I also, at this point, I cannot see the like chat or anything like that. So if anyone's saying anything there,
all right. So what I'm going to do is I'll find the explanations quickly. So the first one is the Kate's letters in a circle containing the cloud, and with the award winner's name. Just thought it might be cool to use the letters from Kate's given the shortened name and derived from 8 letters of Kubernetes. It's like I like this given Kubernetes has got containerization. I also like the idea of letters breaking in free to illustrate the thinking out of the box. So that's the idea for the first page. Page 2 is taken from the idea that we are connected in a more virtual ways than ever before. The idea is about the contributors holding, spreading, sharing their concepts and work in this world. Then page 3 is similar to page 2 concept by using a compass in the directions of the spread. Page 4, again, playing with the idea of containerization, Kubernetes, a heptagon being a container and the steering wheel of the helmsman, the pilot outside alongside the heptagon. And then number 5 is, this one is just another play from last year's idea, and it's all under the same sky working together. So that's
See, this is why I love having actual like graphic designers on these things. Yeah. So much better. The Ray, so this is kind of up to you. You can pick one, or we can actually survey the staff if you wanted to poll people.
And
Yeah.
to be clear, we have time to iterate as well. If there's some direction, we just went with what was there, and look forward to hearing what one's thoughts are.
Sarah is also in our, she joined the Slack channel. So if somebody said, oh, I would like number 2, but I want something else, or number 3, and I would think it would be cool if we flip it the other way around or whatever, she's actually watching the channel. So whatever comments you have, or I like a combination of this or that. So please share ideas and invite everybody to maybe go to Craft and Eddies and share ideas there.
Cool. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. We would like to see something move forward. So yeah, please feel free to share any ideas, Ray, if you want to throw it out, get the comments from Craft and Eddies, and we'll keep on iterating there.
All right, sounds good. I would rather have a group of folks deciding what the word should be.
Okay, I can go ahead and set up sort of an informal poll or formal poll. We've got, we can even do preference voting.
Do we want to make sure we have invite anyone else who wants to put some ideas forward before we do a poll bit?
Yeah, well, I put this up on Crafter Netties to put ideas forward. I hadn't really had anybody jump in. Tim Bannister said that he might have an idea, but has not come forward with anything yet. So I don't know what our deadlines are for actually ordering stuff.
I mean, last year, the awards didn't get sent out until, well, some people didn't get them until like, I think it was June of 2021, and those are 2020 awards. So I think there's, plenty of room in terms of the actual shipping and printing of this stuff. Deb?
Do we have a vendor already selected for this or no?
This is Sarah's design, so we can get it printed up anywhere that's comfortable.
Okay, and are we framing them as we send them or just sending the artwork?
I personally would opt for a frame like we did for the awards last year.
There was an intentionality in the design for Sarah's work to be able to be hung next to the work of the previous years in the same shape and format. It's not a suggestion, it's just what was influenced the current work.
Yep. Did we frame them last year for sending out? Okay,
believe
well, it
so,
seems like we ought to this year then.
Yeah.
It was wrapped around a wooden frame, and it does hold a high prominence in our offices at II for sure.
All right, let me look into some vendors that might be able to do this. And then I can give you information about timing, things like that.
Cool. Thank you, Deb.
Yeah.
Something else that we can also, if there's people with ideas, but they don't have the graphic skills, if they want to say, let's do a background like this and a graphic like that, they can also throw that in the channel and we can ask Sarah, can you please work on that as a fifth or sixth option? So if we have great ideas without the art skills, we can also help with that.
Yeah. I have a couple ideas on some iterations on some of these too.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I really like concept number one. So if when it comes down to polling people, I'm just going to vote for that. So
that was the one I was leaning toward. The only other thing that I thought might be cool would be, instead of the sphere, might be like the actual, Kubernetes logo itself, or the shape. But
yeah,
That's what I dropped in chat just now, basically. Same thing.
yeah, that was a heptagon. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I personally really like number one.
Yeah, like I think number one takes the cake, but yeah, 4 and 5 combined would be cool.
We can, again, we can go to the
Okay.
poll, especially as they're not here, with some other potential suggestions too.
Okay, so we're gonna take some of these suggestions. I'm gonna make sure that Tim has not come up with a concept. When we get all that together, I'll put a poll out. If we can wait until next week to poll people.
Someone down with number 2. I mean, seemed very cool to me.
Yeah.
Number 2 with the hands.
Yeah, with the hands.
The one thing I liked about number 2 with the hands was a kind of a carryover from the stars and the one before, and kind of let that being like there's the earth and the stars and then people and just yeah, kind of some fun things thrown in there.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Let's definitely follow up in Slack later today, or to try and get the final ideas. Was it by next week, Josh? Were you gonna poke Tim, or was someone else gonna poke Tim?
I was gonna poke Tim.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't with all the Americans off, I don't see any point in having a poll this week.
Yeah.
So
poll next week. Me toss word poll. Focus. Okay. Is there any more award discussion we want to talk about at this point in time?
How do we want to communicate the award poll? Do we need any mass comms there or not? No.
This is just for our group.
Awesome.
Okay. Then we'll move over to events. The big ones, the Bake Off, DevOps Party Games, and the Crafter Netties. Josh, I know last week was kind of hectic, but did you wind up poking people, or you just want to pull from the rush sheet?
We haven't finished. Is Rin, are you on?
No.
Okay. We haven't finished picking judges yet. We have a list of potential judges, and we've been going through them And we picked a few of them for this. One thing I did want to ask people about is Paul, who did tech for the Bake Off last year, would be interested in coming back as a judge, but he's not going to do tech again. And on top of which, the sort of video streaming for that had some serious issues. So I could really use somebody who knows our video streaming options to help me with figuring out how we're going to set up all the bake up stuff, because it's complicated because you have the judges stream.
Hippie is muted, but he offered to help with that.
Awesome.
that earlier.
We're setting up. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, well, quick other additional thing. We do have access to the contributor StreamYard account, which can tie directly into our YouTube channel. The one thing with that is that it is 10 streams total. So that is the one caveat with that.
Where do the streams go? How is it 10?
Away.
Oh, it's like they only allow 10 people or 10 independent streams to come in and be presented at once.
Got it.
Because they're doing 1080p streams, so they're doing the
so
mixing. But like that's just one option we have. Hippie, I don't know what all you have accessible.
I mean, I've got an OBS rig. Anything's possible.
Yeah, although
say that.
I was going to say, unless if you're going to say if you want to run that, go for it. But that was a fairly dramatic failure last year. It worked great when we were testing it with only 2 or 3 people. When we got up to all of the streams that were involved, it fell over pretty hard.
Good to know.
To Hippie, oops, sorry.
I'm here. We're at the original Imaginarium, getting ready for a big event tomorrow. And one of the things that we're setting up Wednesday or Thursday is a studio, like for doing streaming stuff. So we have some professional kit, and without getting too deep into it, let's start the conversation and make sure that everyone who wants to can show up to that. But I'd love to help do the actual running and orchestration and helping out heavily with the technical portion and take direction from whoever wants to be the voting and the thing. But as far as the mixing and hosting, we will find a way.
Okay, that would be awesome. Thanks, because let's follow up on Slack, because a video person I am not.
I was not, and I'm learning it quickly.
One thing we can potentially do too, if we want to sort of do I would highly actually recommend we do a load test at one point, because that was also one of the things that caused it to fall over last year. Once we had, I forget how many people it was on stream, where we had to fall back to Zoom. But I would definitely say we do that with whatever options we try. It can just be, like 10 of us hop on the thing, and sort of. I can schedule a private YouTube stream through the Kubernetes contributor account. So like, that's not a big deal either.
Can we start a channel for that if there's not one, so that there's an obvious place for the tech, for the underlying infrastructure for that call? Or do we want to leave it at staff?
Eventually,
I'm sorry, go for it, Josh.
We'll want a channel during the event itself, but I was thinking that was going to be on Discord.
This is just for tech comms to coordinate us back.
Is there a reason just not to discuss that in the Summit channel?
Nope, not at all. I just figured it's going to be a bit noisy, and not everybody wants to hear all about this.
Yeah. We can do it in a Slack thread, just that the people that are interested can subscribe to it.
Thank you. That's an excellent suggestion.
Okay. Is there any other questions at this point about the bake-off? Okay. DevOps party games. That was one of the things. It wasn't called DevOps party games. I forget what it was called. The most extreme Kubernetes challenge, I think. But I think that was something we did want to do this year, and we can seed it with our own questions. I guess the first question, has anyone reached out to them about potentially hosting again? That was Jeremy Mice, I believe. If not, I can take that follow-up item. Okay, I will take that follow-up item. But one thing that we can do is, we can create our own questions for it. Well, actually, quick thing is, but before I talk about this, are folks familiar with like Jackbox party games and sort of like some of the games in there?
No.
Some think of it like Mad Libs type thing, where
Okay.
you create a question and then the audience gets to tune in with their computer or phone, and they get to vote. So it's just like you have, say, 4 people on screen, they come up with their Mad Libs answer, and then the audience gets to vote on which one they think is the best. And then that person, gets the points, and it's pretty fun. Like, side note, my friend group tends to play it a lot whenever we get together.
Cool.
But yeah, we can actually, since we can create our own questions for it, we could stub out with various fun community things, and then also make that list available, so it's not just the one that we're streaming, but also one that people can tune in and play type deal. So people can take that that set of questions and play themselves. So I think that would be, if folks want to see what it's like, you can see the previous year's recording of like session 1 in there. But we want to take a follow-up AI, I would say, to create our own set of questions. And that can just be like a community doc. Does anyone want to start stubbing that out? Okay, I will create a sheet and attach it to that later and start putting in some of them. Any questions regarding DevOps party games at this point? Okay. Crafter NetEase, Josh.
Okay, we haven't come up with specific ideas of exactly what we're doing, so I'm going to give it until early next week. And if we don't have a plan by then that will come off the list of activities.
Okay. And was anyone else sort of like interested in the idea of it in like the chat? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I haven't really had anybody pick it up, which is why I'm saying this might drop off the list of activities.
Okay. Then does anyone else have any other sort of like big sort of community event ideas that we might want to do? We can also think about this a little bit more, but we kind of have like over the next week or so, but we'll want to get going on any of them fairly soon if people do have ideas.
From the last time I was on the meeting, which was a couple of weeks ago because I was sick, but I was supposed to look into the photo booth, which I haven't done much of, but I've done a little bit. And it looks like last year, I'm going to put it in the notes, we used a website called Virtual Booth, and it looks like it had a cost associated with it. So I don't know if we still have like a subscription to that lying around, or if we canceled it and would need to resubscribe in order to use it. Let me see here. Where in the notes should I put this?
That's it. The one thing we did it last year, but we didn't actually talk about it enough. And when we did talk about it, it wasn't super popular.
Okay.
So like I if we do it again, I do think that we need to like at least, you know, say, you know, the people that do it will randomly get a t-shirt sort of like with the bot, or, you know, something like that to try and encourage more people to use it. Or like I'm open to all sorts of ideas on that one.
Cool. I think folks on the first meeting were under the impression that it was fairly popular. Doesn't surprise me if it wasn't actually particularly popular. So maybe that's not a good event that we should carry forward then.
Well, the big problem was, I think, like last year is we literally had like one announcement about it, and then that was it.
Oh.
So I think like it has potential to be more popular, especially if we did something, you know, it's just like people post their thing and Kate's contributors tweets it or something. So I think there are options there. But we can't just basically buy the service and not use it again.
Makes sense. Do we think it's worth looking into and trying to figure out some things around it to make it more popular? Any opinions?
I don't want to be the only person with a negative opinion, but I always thought photo booths at events were weird. That's just me, but just gonna throw that out there.
At least virtual ones.
Yeah.
Let's see. Have other people seen like have they gone well at other virtual events?
As someone who doesn't understand the context of the conversation that well, can we reiterate what a virtual photo booth worked like?
It basically uses your webcam, whatever you would use for video calls and stuff, and then it has like different backgrounds, and you can put like stickers on your pictures and stuff. And you take a snapshot of your webcam and put sparkles on it.
It's like we had Kubernetes theme last year for some of the like backgrounds, things like that people could use.
Well,
I think you're right.
Given the quality of webcams that most people have, that might not be the greatest idea. Yeah, not everyone is Chris. So I personally have, yeah.
I wonder, and this is something I'm going to have my team up, and we're going to have our studio up. And it'd be fun to maybe schedule some photo booth style times where maybe even we can mix people together into a shot, so that I would want to be, I think the draw for me for the photo booths at an event is getting a picture with the people that I came to see. I don't know if that's something that is an idea, and I have people here in our normal time of day to maybe throw something like a scheduled thing, right? So we can have a time rather than I don't know. Again, I'm not terribly familiar with the flow, but that's just some.
So
in the
go for it.
Page
Aslan,
for it. Sorry, in the page for it last year, we actually said something like that. Like we'll put all of the pictures together into a collage instead of taking a group picture.
Oh, that sounds like a great idea.
It would kind of be cool to replicate or replace the group picture from 2019 somehow, but I guess we'll wait for a physical event. The one that's on the contributor site and everywhere else.
The one thing that might be like, if we did happen to take the photos and like put them into like the, you know, waiting screen or whatever it is for the pre-roll for the contributor awards or something like that, that also might be good. Here's dev events. Oh yeah, we did have it listed there. But I still think there's like an opportunity for it. It's just need to find like,
We need to hype it during the entire event, basically.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess we can start up a marketing plan for it and look into seeing if we still have that subscription or if we need to rebuy it.
I'm looking at it right now. I think it was, it's no longer an active subscription, but I'm triple checking.
I recall it's per event.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the case.
So we just have to like up it again for, this event. If I
Yeah.
recall, it wasn't like too bad. Like it was
$40, 14 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cheap.
That's like, honestly, for that low of price, sure. And that's actually might be another thing. If people have other artwork they want to toss in for various backgrounds, that could be a thing too.
Yeah, that could be an activity for the Crafter Netties group. That's something we mentioned in the last call too.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I
So we
think
have a plan there. Cool.
Okay. Comms. Chris just went AFK. Well, I should say, does anyone have any other like events or anything like that? Any other ideas that they want to toss in before we move on to the next thing? Okay. We will skip over comms for the moment, and I will go to platform, which is essentially Discord. I did not get around to inviting people last week. Honestly, I just sort of ran out of bandwidth, but I am hoping to, like, Discord has also done some stuff so that way I don't need to have a lot of the custom bot rules that we had last year. Like, they will now have a thing where you have to like agree to the code of conduct before you're even allowed to join the join the Discord server. So I just need to mess around with some of the stuff before inviting people. But I hope to do that, get that all taken care of by end of week. The other thing is, let me check. There are some features in Discord that are being gradually rolled out, like the Discord watch together thing, which would allow everyone to basically join a channel and join a YouTube, like either watch a YouTube video together or tune into a stream together, which would be great for what we're trying to do. So I'm going to poke my contacts at Discord to see if we can get the Kubernetes channel opted into that for the event. As far as other things go, there's a few other like little things we potentially want to do with Discord. If people are familiar with that, and some of the bot stuff there, we can chat further. One of them is the dynamically creating channels instead of us just stubbing out a whole slew of them. We can, if you are, just give me a poke on Slack and can get that going. I think that's pretty much it for Discord. Does anyone have any questions, comments on that one? Okay. Well, that brings us back to comms. Chris is AFK, but the big thing was we launched the site last week. And the initial announcement went out. We don't want to send out something necessarily this week, but we want to start repeating, at least sending out like one message a week. Ray's out. Actually, can someone else help out with notes now that Ray is not here? Sorry, I missed that earlier. Oh, Kesslin, you've been helping with notes. I'm sorry.
A little bit, but I kind of stopped when we stopped talking about the virtual booth.
Okay. I just saw your cursor there and I thought it might have been you.
Yeah, I was just realizing the same thing.
Okay, well, essentially, we just want to get more of the comms messages out, sending it to KDev, sending it like the Kubernetes contributors channel and the Kate's Twitter to get that going. Our numbers so far have actually been really good, and we tend to see like, you know, after each announcement, you'll get this big surge, and then it'll die down for a little bit. Then the next announcement comes out, then you get this big surge, and so on. That was actually like the sort of weekly incremental updates was one of the things that worked really, really well last year. We want to continue that this year. But I think that is mostly it for comms.
Shrikant had a cool idea in the comments about the photo booth. Going back to that again.
Sorry, I missed the comment.
It was they attended a. Oh yeah,
sorry.
you want to talk, please?
Yeah, virtual avatars essentially. Virtual avatars for attendees. The conference that I was at had an artist do it, but yeah, Kaslan's right. That's probably going to be expensive.
But worth bringing up, I feel like. Plus, we don't have much time, so it might be difficult to plan. Virtual photo booth is really relatively lightweight, but
makes sense.
But this would get around the folks with poor webcams who might not feel comfortable taking a picture of themselves problem.
I mean, worst case, you could just let them upload pictures. So.
Yeah, I don't know if we had a mechanism for that last year, but maybe we should.
I think there actually was, because like I remember doing it to my dog. Just like
nice.
taking I'd save there, put her in there. I gave her a little like Kubernetes hat. Do you have any links or resources regarding the virtual avatar thing?
I will find it and send you some Kubernetes Slack.
Yep, just drop it into Summit staff.
Got it.
Okay, with that, does anyone else have anything else they want to bring up? Okay, well, I think we can call up. Hippie?
I'm excited. This is going to be fun.
It was definitely fun last year. Looking forward to it this year. Okay, with that, I will give you about 20 minutes of your day back. Thank you everyone for coming by, and let's follow up in Slack.